Despite being nearly a decade since its re-release in 2013, the old school community has never been more active than it is right now. With over 600,000 active accounts, old school Runescape has one of the largest player bases of any MMO, with people all over the world competing and cooperating to play the game in ways that were never before imagined. New game modes are constantly being invented, and content creation is at an all-time high. So I set out to create my very own game mode. After nearly maxing an Iron Man on both Old School and RS3, gathering tons of endgame equipment and killing thousands of bosses, I decided to start all over. But this time, I will not be the one deciding what gear I'll use or which goals I'll have to complete. Introducing the Wheel of Everything. I've compiled a list of every equipable item in the game, cosmetics included, and placed them upon the wheel. I've carefully sifted through each item and sorted them into 3 categories: low tier, mid tier, and high tier. Most quest-related items, holiday items, and random event items have been removed from the list, as well as a few others that we'll talk about later. Now let's talk about the rules. The premise of this account is simple. The wheel will generate a challenge, or item, and I will have to retrieve that item. I will be allowed to use in-game shops, but trading and the use of the Grand Exchange will be restricted. For every item I retrieve, I will receive 1 point. All challenges, regardless of tier, are only worth 1 point. If an item requested is already owned, the item must be acquired again. Once an item has been selected, it will be removed from the wheel. Challenge items acquired will be permanently unlocked and protected. Here's where things get interesting. For this game mode, all of my equipment slots will be locked, except for my main hand slot. Locked equipment slots can only be filled with items requested by the wheel. In other words, the wheel is going to define what gear I'll be allowed to use. I will start the game with 3 challenges active, and I may choose to pursue any of the 3 challenges in the order of my choosing, and challenges may be started and stopped at will. Once a challenge has been selected by the wheel, it must be completed before it can be replaced, with some exceptions, but we'll dig more into that later. Upon retrieval of the challenge item, 1 point will be granted, and that challenge will be replaced by a new spin on the wheel. Now let's talk about points. Milestones will be reached at certain point thresholds that will drastically alter my gameplay. I'll start off the game with every quest and achievement diary locked. Much of Old School's content will be locked behind quests, and diaries provide very useful bonuses to your account's progression. So for every 5 points I earn, I will be allowed to unlock 1 quest of my choosing. In order to unlock all 153 of Old School's quests, I'll need to complete a total of 765 challenges. The order in which I choose to unlock and complete quests will have to be carefully considered for the advancement of the account. For every 10 points I earn, I will be allowed to unlock 1 achievement diary of my choosing, but only the lowest tier available. In order to unlock a higher diary tier, for example the medium, all easies must be completed, and so forth. So for all 48 diary tiers to be unlocked, I'll need to complete a total of 480 challenges. For every 25 points I earn, I will spin the wheel to unlock 1 equipment slot at random. Unlocking an equipment slot will allow me to use any item of my choosing within that slot. Unlocking all 10 equipment slots will require 250 points. Unlocking my equipment slots will be vital. However, not every point threshold is here for my benefit. For this challenge, the wheel has been given its own unique thresholds. For every 10 points, the wheel will activate its first ability, Banish. When Banish is activated, I will be forced to re-roll 1 challenge of my choosing. Re-rolled challenges will go into a graveyard where they must be completed at a later time. Banished items may not be equipped until the Banished challenge has been completed. Once 3 challenges have been banished, all 3 must be completed after my next task completion. This means that certain pieces of gear will be locked out for up to 30 challenges before I may use them again. This may not have much of an impact on early level gameplay, but when we get further along, Banishing will play a huge role. This brings us to the wheel's second and most punishing ability, Backlash. For every 25 points, I will be forced to gamble my 28 most valuable equipable items. 1 item, chosen at random by the wheel, will be permanently deleted. Any items that are deleted may never be equipped again unless selected by the wheel. Untradables and protected items will not be gambled. So if the wheel requests an item and I acquire it, that item is mine forever. However, any items that I've acquired on my own will be up for grabs. The final point threshold is when I reach 100 points. By that stage in the game, all low-tier cosmetics will be removed from the wheel. The idea is that the points will gradually become harder to earn and my gear will gradually improve. Now that we've gone over the rules and point thresholds, I'd like to talk briefly about the items on the wheel. I mentioned before that each item had been separated into 3 tiers, which are again separated by combat level. Starting off, I'll only have access to the low tier item pool between levels 3 and 50. At 50 combat, mid-tier items will be added to the wheel, and at 100 combat, high-tier items will be added. The low tier contains many cosmetic and costume items, which is why they will be removed at 100 points. However, that doesn't necessarily mean that all low tier items are easy to get. Some items in the easy tier could take a fresh account dozens of hours to achieve. Certain items have been removed due to irrelevancy, such as random event cosmetics or PvP rewards, or to prevent the account from becoming soft-locked. Furthermore, clue scroll rewards have been removed with the exception of God Books, Ranger Boots, Wizard Boots, Holy Sandals, Ring of Third Age, and any Bob shirt. Why? Because we love Bob. Also added are the Large Spade, Clueless Scroll, Yuri Emote, Heavy Casket, and Scroll Sack, which are unlocked at 500 easy clues, 400 medium, 300 hard, 200 elite, and 100 masters respectively. I've decided to leave most clue scroll rewards out because I really don't want this to devolve into nothing but clue scroll hunting. However, I have left the most crucial rewards intact because I do plan on doing at least some clues. I've also created a 4th tier of items, the elite tier. This is something that I'm not even going to bother getting into at this point because that tier is far beyond our reach at this moment. Just know that all pets, clue scroll rewards including Third Age, and milestone capes will be added to this category. There are a few other minor rules that we'll go over more later when they become relevant. With over 1,500 items in total added to the wheel, I expect this journey to be a steady grind through and through, and I'm excited for what the future holds. So, without further delay, welcome to the Wheel of Everything. First things first, we need to make an account with an appropriate username. Who the hell is named Wheelson? Really? Perfect. And I think that's the look right there. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Step 1. Alright, first off, I'd like to apologize if the audio sounds a little scuffed. I had to re-record everything in post-production because my original audio file got corrupted. So I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm reading from a script. It's because I am. Alright, so now we're finally ready to spin for our first 3 challenges. Alright, a bronze sword is actually pretty good for our first item. Ham logo's decent, we can get that pretty early as well.
Oh my god!
My first 3 items are relatively easy to get. There's a store in Varrock that sells a steel dagger and a bronze sword. And Ham members can be thieved at 15 thieving, so I think we'll do that first and get some starter cash. Might as well get this out of the way. I never intended for this to be a hardcore because I don't want to limit myself. I don't want to be afraid to put myself into a risky situation. Alright, we're gonna get 15 thieving really fast. Alright, we only failed a few times, not too bad. Let's head on over to the Ham hideout and see if we can't snag ourselves a Ham logo real quick. And with that, we have 16 thieving and our first item. Alright, now that our challenge is complete, we gain 1 point and a new spin on the wheel. Red gloves. Alright, so red gloves can only be attained in Canifist. So basically, we need to unlock access to Mauritania by completing Priest in Peril and Rune Mysteries, which means I'm gonna need a minimum of 10 points before I can even complete this challenge. Alright, we've got our first 3 points. Let's go ahead and spin the wheel for our next 2 challenges. The pre-scan bottom is easy, I can get that right next door. Larupia hat. Okay, that fashionscape is gonna be sick. This is gonna require some hunter levels, maybe some wood cutting, and it's gonna be a little bit of a grind, but not too bad. I hate to have to start off doing hunter right off the bat because everything is just so far away and I don't have any teleports to get there. Yeah, I just don't see any way to get around without walking everywhere. Which means I have to go to the Fell Dip area. Yeah. Alright, this one's not so bad, and I have just enough to buy it. We just got our 5th point, which also means we can unlock our first quest. You love to see it. A steel axe, so easy, and I have just barely enough to buy one from Bob, so back to Lumbridge we go. I actually just need a little bit more GP. Alright, and that is our 6th point. We are now ready to spin the wheel again and hopefully get something decent. Alright, this item is really interesting. This is going to require some construction levels and maybe some wood cutting for planks. This is actually made in your little crafting room in your house, so I'm going to have to make a POH and put some cash into it. So this goal might actually take some time. This is actually where I'm going to end off the video. Thank you so much for everybody who watches it and enjoys it, and if you have any feedback, please let me know. This is my first YouTube video and I've never done anything like it. I just decided I would give it a shot, so let me know how you feel about it. Thanks. Also, quick side note, I am going to be live streaming my progress on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/rsamethyst. The link will be in the description below. Thank you for anybody who supports me and chooses to watch my live stream. It means a lot.